Hey, what's up, y'all? So today we have a push workout. We are going to superset our push-ups with air squats, and then we're going to superset our shoulder press with lateral lunges. So the goal here is to get through the full superset before you rest, and then you're going to complete that 3 sets of the superset before you go to the second round. Once you're done with both supersets, you're going to finish up with the core pack. And so for your push-ups, the main thing is your setup, that you want to get into the proper setup and that you're getting the proper depth. So if you're doing traditional push-ups, you're going to take your hands, I like to lay down first, but you're taking your hands just outside the shoulders, lined up with your chest, so you don't want them up here, you don't want them too far back. You're going to line them up with your chest just outside the shoulders, okay? And then you're going to lead your chest downward, not the hips. You're going to lead you with your chest, go down, and press straight up. So I'm avoiding dipping my hips down as I go down, or popping my hips up as I go down. And if you find yourself dipping down, that's where that core comes into play. So when we engage our core, if my core is just hanging out here, I'm automatically going to be dipping my hips. But if I engage my core, you see how it just kind of shifts my hips upward. And if I keep my core tight the entire time, it keeps my body in line, and it's going to take that pressure off of your back. You know, you don't want the pain in your low back from doing push-ups, right? So go down to a modified. So you're going to go down on your knees, and you're going to keep that same form. So I'm going to take my whole body down, leading with my chest, and pressing up. So just because you're in a modified, that doesn't mean that you're not getting that same movement, right? So you're still not dipping down your hips, okay? I want you to get full motion, full range of motion down and pressing straight up. And then if that's challenging, you could do something called negatives, where you go straight down, you rest, and then you roll up. Come back and set up, go straight down slowly, and then roll up, okay, to reset. So the purpose of that is that you're getting that full range of motion. This is not a push-up. You know what I mean? That's just gonna put more pressure on your shoulders. We really want to get down into the chest and the tricep. So if you need to start with those negatives, that's perfectly fine, right? You're still going to feel it, but you're getting yourself used to going down deep. If you never do that, you'll never get down to that full range of motion. You want to start to train your body to go down that full way and pressing up. So even if it's going down, okay, and then I reset, that's perfectly fine, okay? We gonna grow, we gonna get this together. So for your air squats, you wanna get your feet about shoulder width apart, and your feet or your toes facing forward or just slightly out. You're gonna shoot the hips back and squat straight down. The goal here is to keep the weight in the heels and press up through the heels, contracting your glutes as you go down, as well as when you pop up, okay? You also want to avoid internally rotating at the knees. So as you come down, your knees starting to come together like they're kissing. You want to really focus on keeping the knees parallel to one another. And you want to make sure that you're not tracking your knees over your toes. So make sure you get your hips back. This is what you want to avoid. Leaning too far into the toes will put more tension on your knee joint and can cause pain or discomfort. So you want to shoot back, using your glutes to contract and pull you up. Alright, so with your shoulder press, you're going to take your weight outward. You're going to make sure that your feet are stable, so you're in a powerful stance about shoulder width apart. Your core is engaged as with every movement. And then you're just going to press the arms straight up and bring them down. Straight up and down. You want to bring the weight down to about shoulder length and then press it straight back up. You don't necessarily have to have the weights touch at the top. So the goal here is to keep your body straight and in line. So my core is engaged, so I'm avoiding arching my back, pushing up like this. Okay? So if you find yourself doing that, then your weight might be a little bit too heavy. So you can drop the weight, make sure that your core is engaged, and you want to avoid popping your ribs out as well. So if you engage the core, that brings everything in and tight. And then so you're just pressing straight up with the arms. Alright, so next we have our static lateral lunge. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your foot, take a wide step out, and you're almost staggering your feet. The leg that you're going to be lunging into, you want it slightly in front of your other leg, okay? And then what you're going to do is just hinging the hips backward, pushing your hips backward, as opposed to just bending the knee, right? Because if we're bending our knee, that's going to make our knees track over our toes, and that's going to kind of defeat the purpose of the exercise. So you want to keep that weight in your heel, hinge at the hips, and push them back, leaning into that glute medius to get the most bang for your glutes. You want to keep this leg straight as you go down, and then I'm pressing straight up through that heel. So I'm leading the hip outward and then pressing up.